Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a fantastic little video install. Well, hopefully we have. I yesterday went out to actually stake out an area where I'd been told there was a long-eared owl on a landowner's bit of land that we use for ringing in the winter on the farmers' fields for woodcock and jack snipe and skylark and birds like that. And so I came up last night, and in the area it's very scrubby. There's a lot of hard rush, things like that, and it was fantastic for warblers. There was a lesser whitethroat singing its head off. There was whitethroat, common whitethroat, and also grasshopper warblers. And the grasshopper warblers really got my attention, and the lesser whitethroat, because you just don't see them very often. So when you do find them, you've got to kind of act now, and this is a good time of year to do it because it's still early spring. They've only just got here and they're in that singing mode, so it's the best time to get them singing on top of perches, and they're going to be at the most showy at this time of year. So I've come out this morning, and I tell you what, it's absolutely gorgeous, although it is bitterly cold because there's actually frost on the ground and we're nearly in May. So it's quite a strange time to be getting a frost, but it's always possible in the UK, as we all know. But yeah, just look at this in front of me, it's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video and we'll get stuck in. Just look at this view. Ooh. Oh my days, what about that then? So hopefully this frost, to be honest, and this sun makes a nice strange combination really. And a very kind of rare combination. If I can get a grasshopper warbler singing on a nice bit of rush that's covered in frost, it's quite a rare image, I imagine, because by the time grasshopper warblers are normally here, we've had the last frost. So quite a strange one. When would you ever see a grasshopper warbler in the frost, I suppose, because they're either in Africa or they come here to breed after the weather's got in fact, you can already hear one singing. Ignore the whitethroat and the sedge warbler in the background, but it's just a fantastic area. I'll turn the camera around so you can see. You can actually hear the grasshopper warbler singing, and you can see this bush has got a couple of common whitethroats in. But look at this area, it's absolutely perfect. It's this hard, rushy type stuff that holds grasshopper warblers. It's just perfect for them. So if you see an area like this, keep an eye out and mainly listen out really. Right, I can already see that the frost is turning to water, so I need to kind of act quick and get in position. So I'm just going to look for kind of high bits like that, where any high brambles that are sticking out, or just anything high above the rush height is where I'm going to target, waiting for the grasshopper warbler. I mean, it's potluck really on where they're going to come up and where they're going to sing, so you've got to kind of just pitch up and be really patient with it. It's a lovely little branch there. It looks like a little sapling actually, like a hawthorn, and that's kind of the main high spot, so I wonder whether that's a good place to wait. Or sometimes if you haven't got a perch, it's worth just having a look around for a bit of a log or something and just protrude it above the area, and it acts as a good perch that they might want to go to sing. So we'll get in position and we'll see if it comes along. So one of the reasons this might be a good area is not just because of all the bramble, but behind me there's a little brook, and it's constantly got water running through it, even through the summer, although the water level's not very high. But that obviously means there's a lot of insects going to have laid their eggs in there, and they're going to obviously be emerging from the water, which means there's a good food source for the warblers, which mainly feed obviously on insects. You'll often see warblers catching flies in mid-air and things like that, so it just makes it a really, really perfect little biome of its own little ecosystem. And these kind of little ecosystems are absolutely critical for birds, and migrating birds especially, because when they move across the country they need these little hotspots to keep their food source going when they're on the move. And they're on the move now. They're not. A lot of these birds aren't going to just stay here. They'll move on to the next kind of area like this until they're kind of happy and find a mate and find their own territories. So really critical, and just again really lucky to have it on my doorstep. And it's really good for the landowner to be able to let me to use it as well, which is really, really cool. So within just a couple of minutes we've got a lot of different birds. So we've got blackbird, dunnock, sedge warbler, chiffchaff, grasshopper warbler, song thrush, wren, pheasant and greater whitethroat, just in 2 minutes. And hopefully the lesser whitethroat turns up at some point. I'm not quite at the area that it was yesterday, so hopefully it's still around. But sometimes these migrating birds, they do just get up and go onto the next kind of spot of a morning. But I'm sure I saw it with a pair yesterday, with a female, so hopefully that means they've stuck around and maybe are on nest building, or maybe they're just literally thinking of breeding. So it'd be really cool if they do breed in this area. So I've just been walking back now. I've just seen the lesser whitethroat, so I'll throw some video of the lesser whitethroat. It's fantastic to see them out in the open, and just to see them, to be honest, because they're not a common warbler that you come along, and they are difficult to kind of track down. So hopefully they stick around the area and start breeding. So I'm heading back kind of this way because I've heard the Grasshopper Warbler really singing its head off now. It's a lot more active, and sometimes warblers just take a little bit of a while to get going, because insects need the sun and the heat to be at a certain level to be active, and once they are, that's when the birds obviously become active, because obviously they can start feeding. They're not going to waste energy if they haven't got any food available. So yeah, absolutely awesome. Just take this off. So you can hear the call of the Grasshopper Warbler there. What an amazing call it is, and sometimes it lasts so long. It goes again. The bird song is absolutely phenomenal, and the bramble looks actually quite nice to shoot into the sun, so I'm trying to get some nice backlit shots, just because brambles seem to have this like kind of hairy leaf, and obviously the thorns and things like that, and it gives a really nice kind of edge that's backlit, which if you get a bird land on that branch while it's illuminated like that, you can get a really cool effect. The issue is obviously your exposure, because you kind of in that scenario want a low exposure, a negative exposure, but also you need the bird to be exposed properly to be able to see the detail, which means overexposing the bright bits, which is you can get quite a nice effect from doing that. So I've just tried to do it this morning. I am struggling a little bit, but there's plenty of opportunities of whitethroat coming on the branches, so hopefully I can achieve that with the whitethroat. But it's a tricky one to kind of master really and get it absolutely perfect, but we'll have a go. It's all about trying to challenge yourself and trying to photograph something different sometimes. You can hear that Grasshopper Warbler still singing away. So one thing from me as well, guys, just to kind of educate and inform, because I think doing these videos is all well and good, but obviously I need to point out good practices really as well. So you can see a little track behind me. Now all throughout the day I've been trying to stick to these little tracks, and they're not people tracks and public tracks. They're literally mammal tracks where foxes or muntjac deer have created these little pits and little grass highways, and they use the same tracks every day. And I've even seen like a little crossroad where there's literally a cross of the track, and I'll show you that in fact I'll insert it now. And I always advise people at this time of year in the breeding season, there's a lot of birds, including the Grasshopper Warbler, chiffchaffs, willow warblers and things like that, that nest really low to the ground, sometimes in the actual grass itself, and yellowhammers do this, and skylarks, lots of other birds. So when you're going through areas like this, it's very important to make sure that you are just sticking to those kind of mammal highways, I like to call them, just because that gives you the best chance of then being able to, you know, avoid damaging any nests and things like that. So yeah. So it's getting to that point of the day now where it's getting a little bit harsh. The sunlight is supposed to reach 21 degrees today, which is pretty good for April. Really, it's as good as you can expect, and just means the light's getting a bit harsh and it's burning off the actual cloud that's coming in. It's still wispy cloud about, but it's not diffusing it quite enough. So we're gonna leave the video there, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this kind of warbler fest. And mainly this video has been about the Grasshopper Warbler, but obviously we've seen whitethroats, lesser whitethroats, and a lot of different warblers, so, and a good mix of warblers, not just your chiffchaffs, willow warblers, reed warblers, which are great warblers in their own right, but sometimes it's just nice to go for a different category, especially the grasshopper. It's such a unique one for me, and you just don't come across them very, very often, and especially ones that are kind of easy to photograph. So this one's been, I'd say, in the middle. It's not been too bad, but could be better kind of thing. So yeah, I'm chuffed with the morning that I've had, and yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, please do subscribe. It is free. It means you get more of these videos put in front of you, not necessarily from me, but from other creators as well. And thank you for all the support from people who support the channel already, drop comments and get involved and things like that. So it really does give me great encouragement to keep doing these videos for you. So yeah, and obviously I get great benefit and satisfaction myself making these videos. It's a bit of a documentation of my journey as a photographer. So yeah, on that note, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.